Second, switching on. Okay, we're live now, guys, and this is exciting session actually because the objective of what we would like to showcase now is really how to use AI to help entrepreneurs build web pages, build sales pages that they can test with market segments, with potential customers. And so Bill's going to hopefully be able to use, I think it's Claude, isn't it, Bill? The latest version of Claude to help build
3.7.
3.7 to help build some web pages, Sonnet, some web pages. So we've got what we've put together, myself and Chris have put together, is a brief with some content, but also the brief as well as the content, a design brief of how we would roughly like the web page to look and feel and be laid out, and see if we can get the AI to basically build some code, a page from this. Is that what it does build? So does the AI actually build the code, not just a view of it?
Yeah, yes, it does. It'll build HTML. It'll build whatever language you want. Most recently, I had my very old active server pages website, ASP, which was from the late 90s. I had Claude transfer it, turn it into PHP, which is almost as old but still supported and still widely used, and it did it almost flawlessly.
It still astounds me.
Yeah. I was ready to spend thousands of dollars to pay someone to do it. Instead, I got it for $20, which was 1 month of subscription.
And in a way, there's two sides to this. One, as an entrepreneur, it's amazing that I might be able to give a brief to an AI and it produce what I want. And on another side of me, I feel that the poor web designers I would have paid to do the brief are going to miss they're not going to get me paying them to do this particular job. It doesn't mean they're out of jobs and they won't be able to use AI to produce this amazing work. But I wouldn't go to if this sorts of things works, I wouldn't go for them for this sort of thing in the testing phase.
Yeah, especially for the simple stuff. An entrepreneur needs just for an entrepreneur, you typically only need about a 3-page website, and to test your riskiest assumptions. And I think Claude can really help with that, especially if you help him understand what it is you're trying to do. Hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm trying to test these assumptions about my customers. I need a website that helps me gather data, that sort of stuff. It's going to do all that stuff for you.
Yeah, I'm still astounded. It's amazing.
Oh,
now for those of you listening live to this podcast, feel free to put some questions in the comments section, or whatever platform you're using, LinkedIn, YouTube, or whatever. The sort of format here is Bill's our web designer now using AI, and we're Bill, new job, and we're trying to get a web page designed. So if anybody's got any questions, anything they want to point out, any comments, just please put them in the comments. It'll be helpful and it'll make it more interactive. So I'm going to start, Bill, with sharing the brief with you. And I know I've given you the brief files to save a bit of time, but I'm going to share it on screen. I'm going to do a screen share. And Chris, again, if there's anything that's not clear, please help me out here. But I'm going to give a screen share now of the brief. So hopefully you can see this, where it's transform yourself into a professional entrepreneur in 12 months. So this is a brief we put together. And what I'll do is I'll just scroll through it to outline the content. So the content is all about a 12-month entrepreneur program. And we outline what makes this program different. We outline what you'll gain from this program, but we also outline the structure of it. So it's 1 to 12 months where we're going through entrepreneurial mindset, support through this whole program. We run through idea validation, a key part 12Ronnies focus on, and my particular area of expertise. For those that have validated ideas, we can help them actually write a proper launch plan. And then we've got an outcome part of the program. So it's understanding what it takes to succeed as an entrepreneur, have a validated business idea and a clear process, AI assisted, to build a business plan, and various other information. What we've also got and here to supply to the AI is a detailed, now I hope you can see this. Can Chris, Bill, can you see this
Yes.
rainbow worksheet? So what we've got here is now a detailed breakdown of every part of the program. So within the premium mentoring program, the 12-month program, we've also, what do you get for this? Weekly accountability checks, experts, CEO chat, strategy calls. So there's all parts of this. What do you get in the idea validation part, an on-demand video course, validation experiments, coaching, data room. So there's all of the whole breakdown that we're going to feed to AI. And this is the sort of thing that I would feed to a developer to help them understand what we're doing. So that's, if you like, the brief. But then I've also got I've got how I'd like it to look, and I've chosen. I love this website by Strategizer, who are in this area where they've got an innovation management platform that's not too. It's about ideas as well, and it's beautifully designed, clean website. So I love that. So I'd love to see whether Claude, your AI, Bill, can come up with something a little bit like this. And then as an alternative, last thing to share, as an alternative, there's this wonderful organization called Funnel Gorgeous that that gives you PDFs of how to produce compelling sales web pages. So how to actually put them together, and the sections, what to begin with, all these parts. So what would be nice, guys, is, now I'm going to stop my screen share at this stage. So what would be nice, Bill, is if we feed all this into your AI, to sort of go through the process of the sorts of things it can do. And yeah, and any first of all, any questions, Bill, Chris, or the audience on what I'm feeding it? And is that the sort of brief you would be giving to a web designer to come up with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm really curious now. If you feed these documents into your AI, and I know it'll take a little while to process.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look. Why don't you share my screen, and let me
share your screen.
How I go about this, and I'm no world-renowned expert or anything. It's just I've been working with Claude for a little while now, and really capitalizing on Claude 3.7 Sonnet's coding expertise. So we're going to start. Here's your Claude page. I do have the professional plan. You can see here. That's $20 a month. After Claude rendered my first web page and transferred it over to PHP, I got right on and paid my $20, because just that page alone was worth probably 10 times that in what I would have paid someone. So I'm going to go over to another Claude page here I already have open, where I've been interacting with it a little bit, doing some of the web stuff that you're talking about. I've dropped the four files in here, and that's just a drag and drop. You just drag them from your desktop. You can also share from Google, from the Google Cloud as well. Do
you have to define, Bill, what each of those files are and what to do with them?
Yeah, I'm
going to work it out.
Describe them a little bit here. I think that one that says website and it's a .txt here. I went to that Strategizer website, and I right-clicked on the web page and said View Source. It pops up in a window. I copy and pasted the HTML source of the page and dropped it into a text file, and then just dumped it in it. Claude cannot access the internet. Now he goes and trains on it periodically, but if you said, hey, go to this website, go to this LinkedIn profile and tell me what I should, how I should work with this person, he can't do it. So minor limitation. If you need that, go to Bing or to Google or to ChatGPT. Those resources, I believe, are more connected to the internet. Problem is, though, when you connect to the internet, that's where you get the hallucinations.
Yeah.
Because when they're looking at the world, um, when they're looking at the world, it gets confusing, and they see both sides of something, and they pick one or the other, or they pick something in between that represents neither. So,
Yeah.
that's actually a positive part about Claude. But I believe he's been trained through October of last fall, I believe.
Yes.
In the work I've been doing with him, I haven't noticed anything missing. Like old knowledge. So here we go.
Well, I guess, Bill, on
Yeah.
this, on what we're looking to do today, it's less about access to content on the internet. It's about actually asking the AI to write some software code.
Yeah. For my entrepreneurial accelerator, sorry, there's going to be typos and that sort of thing. I'm not as brain dead as I look. Attached, and so this is how I just sent you. I attached our a file, or a text file, a txt file of a site.
Yep.
Of a site I like, and would like my page to look like. It doesn't worry about dangling prepositions or anything.
Yeah.
Look like. It doesn't care about your grammar, doesn't care about your spelling, anything like that. I do try to keep it clean.
Yeah. That's actually quite a benefit for me. I'm dyslexic, or partially dyslexic.
There you go.
So it's great. It's very helpful.
The docx, or that's the one you sent. The docx has the design specifications. I try not to use a lot of jargon or abbreviations also, because you never know what he might think about it. And the .xlsx has there's like a price list, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was a price list. It was a complete breakdown of everything that's there and prices. Yeah.
Please create a page, an HTML page that reflects these files and needs. And make sure HTML is spelled right there. Now we just see what the heck happens.
Yeah.
So it's going to start.
Hold my breath now.
Yeah, it's going to start spitting out code here. It'll first probably it'll repeat back maybe what it heard, just to make sure. And if we don't like it, we can always hit the stop button right here. There's a stop button.
Okay.
You have to hit it about 10 times to stop him, because once he gets on a roll, he's crazy. So
I can see it's already generating code. Is that the actual? Yeah. That's the code in the right hand side.
This is HTML. We're going to copy and paste this. I've got a junk website that I use for these sort of things. I'll just copy and paste it to a page. We'll hit refresh, and I'll be able to pull up a web page and see how it turns out. Now it's going to probably lack maybe some CSS files that it might need, or it's going to lack pictures. But that's where you come back and you select a stock photo or something that you want to fill that spot. But it'll leave openings for it. So it'll look a little rough the first time around, but once you start getting the graphics in there, gosh, it's even got your brain there from your. You see that there? It's got your icons. So those must be HTML icons. Let's see if they really are or not. It's got your check mark. It's got your pink brain. Is that a brain? Or is
no, they were actually they're standard icons that.
Okay.
That
all right. So here it's got something. We'll hit the max length. So I'm going to hit continue. That's interesting. Kind of.
Well, we fed it quite a lot of information, didn't we?
Yeah. It's gonna continue a little bit more here. Just give it. So usually you get a lot more code than this out of it, but it's the middle of the workday here.
Yeah.
In the eastern, western hemisphere at least. So, and probably getting there in the almost in the Far East. It's taking a minute here. Okay.
But what's the
work?
I mean, this is writing raw HTML code. How long would this take a programmer to do, given the brief? It would take them a little while, I guess. So Chris, while Bill's going away and running that, and he's disconnected, and we can see this is running. What's your initial thoughts in the process we're going through? And you might, because I know that you've been heavily instrumental in putting together the program that we're looking to turn into a sales page.
Yeah, well, I would ask you a question actually, Simon.
Yeah.
As to why you feel this is an interesting step for somebody who wants to use Claude. Why this is something that would be useful to somebody in our position where we're developing a product or a service. Why is this better than or maybe interesting to explore?
Yeah. Well, as an entrepreneur, I'm looking to test my ideas. I'm looking to be able to test my sales message, what I'm looking to sell to my customer segment. And so I once I've gone through my whole problem, what solution fits and who my customer segment is, I want to send them messages, and I want to do it via the internet, and I want to produce pages. I would normally have to find some tools and some people to use them. So I would give this to my web designer, who would put together, in this case, a WordPress page, probably using Elementor. And this would cost me a reasonable amount of money and take quite a lot of time. So the reason I want to do this is, and it's not to demonstrate Claude, the outcome I'm looking for is to produce some web pages and do them quickly and iterate and find what I like and see what works, and then feed them out to my customer segments. And I might want to A/B test them with different styles of web pages. That all takes quite a lot of time and money if you're going to use developers, or I'd have to have reasonable expertise myself in creating. I mean, I know these are rudimentary web pages, but I don't have any coding expertise at all, and I'm not particularly good with WordPress and Elementor. So this is why I'm looking for something that can speed things up, and it's one of the promises of AI is it can write code based on the instructions you give it. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, no. I just think it's important to share with our audience, why we're actually doing this, really.
Yes.
Here's what it gave us.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so I'll start back at the top. You can kind of comment on what you see here. So we've got.
So it's picked up from the first document. It's picked up the sales wording.
Yep, some of the copy there. Yeah.
And it's copy, and I can see that this is displaying it in the strategizer format.
Yeah, here was the strategizer page that you were talking about. Looked like this, and lots of happy people. It kind of goes on and on, but it's it's blocky and it's bright and it's got pictures and that sort of thing. So similar here. Then you got sort of a middle section here with kind of the main bullet points, the services.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's your program structure. What do we offer?
That's brilliant. So
there's your price.
And now it's jumping into all the prices, so that it's gone into the more detailed side of things and what each one.
We took that spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet had a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah,
it pulled very specific things out. I mean, it was very careful about what it pulled out, so that it didn't. I was afraid it might actually just sort of copy and paste your spreadsheet, and it might be way too much information. But here,
it summarized things like weekly workshops and masterclasses, and
I'm just wondering, Bill. That you see the buttons on these. Do those links actually work? Do they go anywhere?
Well, they shouldn't do, because we haven't given them anywhere to go to.
They went down the page. So this one here, I clicked Get Started, and it brought me down to this web form.
Okay.
Which isn't connected to anything yet.
No,
So
I'm just interested, because it's
but I
creation.
would then tell it, say, hey, I see you put a web form on my site. I need to be able to connect that to something so that I can get the information. And then it's going to write either code I put here, or it's going to write me another page that operates in the background that this thing posts to, and that can then send me an email.
This is so immediately from what's been given, we've got a web page that could be, once we connect up to your calendar and whatever else, and your I don't know, your Stripe account, if it was going to go straight to payments or whatever.
Well, what I would do is say, hey, I'm hooked up to Stripe. How do I get Stripe? How do I hook this up for e-commerce? And it's going to tell me. Like a couple of weeks ago, I asked it. I was trying to do a workaround to get emails sent from one of my websites without having to pay for it and without having to upgrade the service on my web host. And I said, can you suggest a free site where I can have this done? And it gave me two. And I went to one of them and I said, yeah, this one doesn't appear for me. What about the other one? I said, the other one would be good because, and I told him why the first one wasn't for me. He said, yeah, you can do this. And here's the code to do it. And I plugged it in, and I'm not good at connecting like these API websites. I'm not good at that. It gave me the doggone code I needed to put right in there. And within a tweak or two, it's still running. I'm on their free service, and I get 100 emails a day, and I use like 10. So it's perfect for me. It told me what I needed. And it didn't go out to the web, but it knew of the service because it had trained on the web. Another cool thing here at the bottom is it makes a nice little menu for you. So it pulled these menu items out of that too. So this is nice. And see what it called. It called it Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program. We didn't give it a name.
No, I love how creative these things are. Bill, I'd be really interested to see, just as a comparison, we gave, as well as the strategizer look and feel, we had a PDF of how a sales page should look, and I wonder how if you fed the
I did it's up here. It's the offer cure, right?
Yeah, if you fed them the offer cure and said instead of
let's do that,
because the offer cure one's really, it's quite complex, but it's very it explains how to construct a web page, so it's a completely different way of doing it. It's much more from your content. This is how you create a compelling offer on a web page and how you lay it out, rather than saying let's copy another one. So I'd be quite interested to see.
Here we go.
Now what sort of web page it can do.
And it's choking a little bit on these requests at this time of day. I'll be honest, a lot of the stuff I do is in the wee hours of the night and morning. So I apologize. I don't want to be Bill Gates when he was kicking off Windows 95 and it crashed famously in front of the big press release.
Or the famous thing where they threw rocks at the Tesla. The indestructible Tesla and the windows smashed, if you remember.
Yeah.
That's live demos. Well, the other thing about this is, think how long this would take if you gave the brief to a designer.
Oh yeah.
To then code it up. We're doing all this. We're 20 minutes into having a conversation about it and giving the files, and you've already thrown up one design. And now we're going to look at doing another design based on the brief, which is pretty amazing. 20 minutes in.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just going to let it finish up here. It's probably pretty close. Yeah, actually, it's got the footers here, so it's got to be pretty close. It's gonna fiddle with us for another minute.
And that's actually the raw code that we're seeing on the right hand. This is the raw code in the screen. Yeah,
it is. If anybody's watching, they see that I'm using Microsoft Expression Web. Yes, I'm still lost in 2010. But my favorite, what you see is what you get, web builder. So looks like she said, and he says what he does. And yeah, here's the code all the way to, it's not all there yet. Need the code all the way to, I'm just going to tell it. Oh, the final close quote.
It's just incredible.
I already provided it, really. Okay, says you. Interest. Oh, that's not it at all. Okay, so was this the one, or what did it do?
I mean,
Please, new instance. Sometimes you have to tell it to do it in a new window because once it starts editing its own window, then it gets mixed up and different parts get jumbled. I mean, you'll end up with the top of the end of the code at the top, and these are just things you learn working with it. It's like working with a person. Hey, I've got this person on my team, and they always make these types of mistakes. So I adjust for it. Really, the same kind of thing here.
But you can see where this is going. You can see where this is going. That you'll be able to create as an entrepreneur. You'll be able to within once you've got your content, an idea of design, the documents that we fed here, you'll be able to experiment all day with different types of websites. You'll be able to say, now alter it here and change this,
right,
and
move this over, make instead of there being three islands in the middle there with the things, make a fourth island, a fourth point with this in it. And you could tell it to make it wider, make it narrow, make it narrower. It does these things. It really does. And my advice again, as I said in the beginning, experiment with detailed prompts and with prompts that lack detail, because you should prepare yourself to be surprised. And entrepreneurs should be prepared to be surprised. They should do things that allow them to learn things that they maybe didn't plan on learning, and that's the same thing that happens here.
This AI already, just using the standard vanilla LLM Claude here, is this not disrupting the web builders where they have AI, embedded in their particular web builder? And here you're not having to purchase a license to anything, are you, other than the LLM that you're using?
Absolutely. So here's this isn't done. I mean, it's not giving me the end. I think it's just this is the worst part of the day probably to ask for it. But this is there's some garbage up here that because the CSS, the cascading style sheet stuff isn't done. And
I can get the gist of it. You can get the gist of it. Yeah.
So this was just based on that slide, those slides you sent. Explore the workshop, view packages, copywriting mastery. I mean, this is, if those ladies that were on the front page of that wanted to build a website based on their slide deck there, this is what it would look like. Now you'll notice that the style is very similar to the one that it built for us first. It's got this, this top bar, but this is a very modern look, and this is what a lot of websites do look like right now. Which I experienced when I updated my websites. Mine looks very much like this, but it's clean. There's a lot of white space. It's good. It's good design principles. It's efficient with its writing. And it kind of takes you through the process. It's got packages here. I don't know if those were in there or not. I don't remember seeing if they had packages, and then they've got a very similar sort of thing. But they did change the colors. I don't know if that was based on the PDF or if it just the colors at random.
What it's done, actually, I think it's used a lot of the wording from the PDF because it's not quite as coherent as the one that we built from the Strategizer.
The prices are different as well, Simon.
But it's interesting to see the comparison of how it's doing that. The other thing I wanted to ask, because we're coming out of time, because this is just amazing. We can play with this all day long and do this coding. And
I almost forgot to go to bed one night doing this. So
now the other thing that I would be asking web designer to do, as well as creating pages from all the content, is people are going to find these pages. So what about SEO and all of those sorts of things?
Thank you. So please give me some HTML to optimize my SEO for this page.
Well, it just writes the optimization code as well.
It may stick it in. Okay, it's going to stick it in, and then I may just ask it where to put it. Now, from my basic web page knowledge, I know exactly where these tags go. They go at the beginning of an HTML document, but I might not know all of it. So it's giving me other stuff here that, these are various scripts that I put in. Some more meta tags. Again, those go at the top. And then it's telling me what it did. And if I don't like what it did, I can say, well, can you do more of this, less of that? Or is there anything that I'm missing? Just ask it, is there anything that should be in this web page that isn't there? And this is where I could start telling it about my journey as an entrepreneur. I'm trying to test these risky assumptions. How could I optimize this website for conversion? And here's what I define conversion. I want them to click the link to get on my waiting list, or to buy now, or to give me their email address. So you give it the outcome that you're looking for, whatever that call to action is that you want to optimize, and it's going to help you do that because it gets it. It gets it.
Unbelievable.
Don't edit yourself. Ask what's on your mind and ask it what you're forgetting, because it knows. I mean,
and that comes back to the skills we've all learned over the last few years with these AIs, these LLMs. It's about the questions. It's about asking the right questions, but this is asking the questions and it producing code for you that you can actually use right now.
So I'll ask it a stupid question. Where do I put this code? I'm dumb. I don't know. I've never done a web page before. So, and there it tells me right where to put it, shows me what it's going to look like. So
yeah.
And the nice thing is you can always go back to these chats. And ChatGPT does the same thing, but I can go here and I can look at all these prior chats. It saves everything. It'll go back. And I can go back and resume things, or I can at least go back and copy and paste some prompts that I used, or something that I learned, and bring it into a new chat.
So as an entrepreneur, as an experimenter, I can just produce lots and lots of experiments, lots of different sales copy, lots of different testing with slightly different customer segments.
Let Claude do the experiment.
And it produces lots of web pages that I can A/B test with various.
I want to learn this from my customer. How do help me design an A/B test? Help me design tests that will accomplish this. It's that simple.
It's phenomenal. I've stopped the screen share here. So.
Okay. Can I just ask one question of Bill, which is a bit of a roundup question, Simon? How did you find out that Claude 0.7 could actually do this? Are you somebody that tests out lots of different AI platforms just to see what the?
Oh, Bill's gone off the connection here. Sorry, he'll come back on a second. But no, from my understanding, what Bill wanted to do. One second, I'll add him back into the stage.
I'm not that person. What happened is I was talking with someone. I was willing to pay for software to do the conversion I wanted to do, but it wasn't going to work for me, and it was designed for enterprises, and it was going to be $12,000. He said, right. Why don't you just get on Claude and see if he'll do it? I said, well, that's a good idea, and I did, and it worked.
It saved $12,000.
Well, yeah, his product didn't even work really very well because it didn't have AI baked in. It was doing kind of one-to-one thing. Okay, if it says this, then I'm going to put that, and then you needed a skilled programmer to go in and clean up the mess.
So, but maybe you could even ask something like Perplexity, or even one of the other AI platforms, to say which is the best platform for doing X, Y, Z.
I've only just begun, but I'll tell you, all the hype, the media hype, has been around Claude 3.7 Sonnet. They are trying to make their name in that space. That is if they're going to do one thing really, really well, it's going to be that. And no one else is doing a better job right now. So
maybe that's what's going to happen in the future with these AI platforms. They're going to differentiate themselves by being the best at certain things,
just like people do.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing how it's doing jobs that entrepreneurs want them to do. the day comes when I say, okay, well, here's what I want. I'm off down the pub. Can you find me my first 1,000 clients and sign them up? And
Yeah. Yep.
we're going in that direction, aren't we?
Yeah. So yeah, and some of the other ones,
wonderful tools for entrepreneurs. I mean,
yeah,
I know the wonderful tools for everything AI, but for entrepreneurs, look at this.
yeah. So the ones that can scan the web, I mean, you know, if you can point it at LinkedIn, hey, find my first 25 customers.
Yeah.
You know, people that I can go out and you know, and then give me the message for these for each of these people, each of these 25. Give me a custom message for each of the 25. You know, we talk with Eggles, and he's been on some of these videos as well. He does a really great job of that for his consulting business.
Yeah, and I think the combination of using AI to find your customers and also using it to present your sales messages, and it's the incredible tools. So Bill, what I'd love to do when you've got some time is to take what we've got here, not necessarily now, but we take what we've got here, and with that offer cure PDF, to refine it a little bit more, because I'd love to produce a web page along the full design that offered. And I know we ran out of a bit of bandwidth on doing that.
I may take a whack at it tonight when things settle down in the Western Hemisphere. So,
but that's wonderful. Okay, amazing stuff. Anybody, we're gonna end the live stream now. But for anybody watching it, the recorded version, if you put comments in depending on your YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you're watching the recorded version from, we'll have a go at answering them. But this is really a demonstration for entrepreneurs of using AI in a practical way, and in this case, it's to build web pages from our specifications and our sales messages. Okay, guys, any last comments before we end the stream?
No,
this is fun. Thank you.
Say thank you to Bill for and thank you to the technology for not falling over. That was pretty impressive.
Okay, I'm ending the stream.
Thank you.